Welcome to Useful Features of the Bash Shell. After watching this video, you'll be able to outline some key Bash Shell scripting features, learn about the characters and symbols in Bash Shell scripting features. Meta characters are special characters that have meaning to the shell. The pound symbol is used to include comments that the shell ignores. For example, this comment does not return anything. The semicolon is a meta character that separates commands typed on the same line. For example, these two commands return their outputs on two lines like this. The asterisk represents any number of consecutive characters within a file name pattern. For example, this expression returns all objects in the /bin directory with a name starting with BA and followed by any characters, which in this case is bash. And the question mark acts as a single character version of the asterisk meta character. For example, this expression lists all objects in the /bin directory having a single character in place of the question mark, namely the bash and dash paths. Quoting specifies whether the shell should interpret special characters as meta characters or escape them. You can use the / to escape the interpretation of a single character as a meta character. Here, the / tells bash to interpret the $sign as text, rather than the default variable name. So the output is literally $1 each. Double quotes will interpret the text literally, except for any meta characters, which will be interpreted according to their special meanings. For example, the $1 expression without the preceding / is interpreted as a variable, which in this case is empty, as we see here. Notice that it printed the space before each. Single quotes, on the other hand, are used to interpret all contents as literal characters. For example, this expression returns the same result as the first example above. Input-output, or I/O redirection, refers to a set of features used for redirecting either the standard input, the keyboard, or the standard output, the terminal. The greater than symbol is used to redirect the standard output of a command to a file. It also creates the file if it doesn't exist, and overwrites its contents if it already exists. You can avoid overwriting by using the double greater than symbol, which appends the output to existing content. The combination to greater than redirects an error message to a file. To append the error message, for example, to an error log file, add another greater than sign. And lastly, the less than sign is a redirection that is used to pass file contents as input to the standard input. Let's look at a few examples. You can start by simultaneously creating a file and populating it with some text like this. You can then cat the file to see what's there. As you can see, line 1 was written to eg.text. Now you can try adding another line to the file. And viewing the contents again, you can see that the file contains exactly the 2 lines you added. Entering something like the word garbage returns an error. This expression catches the error message and redirects it to the file err.txt. And indeed, the contents of err.txt is what can be expected. You can use command substitution to replace a command with its output. There are 2 equivalent notations. In the first, the command is encapsulated by parentheses with a $sign out front, while in the second, the command is encapsulated with backticks, also known as backquotes. Let's say you want to store the current directory path in a variable called here. You can use command substitution on the pwd or present working directory command to capture its output and assign it to the variable here. And indeed, echoing its value returns the current directory. Command line arguments are arguments used by a program specified on the command line. In particular, they provide a way to pass arguments to a shell script, a program. Command line arguments for a bash script are specified. The arguments arg1 and arg2 are passed to mybashscript.sh. Bash has 2 main modes of operation. Batch mode, which is the usual mode, runs commands sequentially. For example, these 2 commands, separated by the semicolon meta character, will be executed in a particular order. Command 2 only runs after Command 1 is completed. In concurrent mode, commands run in parallel. The ampersand operator, after command 1, directs command 1 to operate in the background and passes control to command 2 in the foreground. In this video, you learned that metacharacters are special characters that have meaning to the shell. Quoting is used to interpret or escape metacharacter meaning. I/O redirection refers to a set of features used for redirecting. Command substitution is used to replace a command with its output. Command line arguments are used to pass arguments to a shell script. Concurrent mode allows commands to run in parallel.